to the world, which the UPA era almost presented on a weekly or monthly basis to the world. He had to strengthen our macroeconomic fundamentals in the initial period. He has relentlessly pursued building bridges and friendships across the world, east and west, north and south. And having reached a position where India became the voice of the global south, where India earned the trust and respect of the world, we started engaging from 2021-22 with developed nations to build bridges, to build partnerships. Unlike the Congress era where they used to do free trade agreements largely with competitors with whom India was in competition for world markets, Prime Minister Modi's strategy was to engage with the developed world, but engage from a position of strength, engage on the back of the strength of our vibrant population, engage keeping in mind our strategic interests, our sensitivities, yet open the doors for greater engagement with the world. And that strategy, I think, helped us in our own effort to quickly build up very, very robust, very good win-win situations with our trading partners. Tali do haath se bajti hai. It has to be a win-win. You can't do a good deal without ensuring that you get the best for your offensive interests, and at the same time you save your defensive interests, the sensitivities. And keeping this strategy, today we cover 38 well-developed economies. 2/3 of global trade is covered by the free trade agreements India has. This opens the doors for resilient supply chains and will provide lakhs and crores of our farmers, our fishermen, our MSMEs, young men and women, huge opportunities in the future.
So we concluded on favorable terms, as you have spoken so often, the framework for an agreement with the United States. That happened, however, before the SCOTUS, or the Supreme Court of the United States, came out and basically declared President Trump's tariff war illegal. Now, has the US Supreme Court's ruling, has it given us more negotiating, perhaps, space with the Trump administration? अब क्या पूरा जो हमने एक दफा सोचा था कि जिस तरीके से ये पूरा शेप लेगा, वो क्या बदल गया है पूरा हमारा अप्रोच?
This is an evolving situation. We are watching what is happening. We are in dialogue with the administration in the US and, of course, internal consultations. We will have to wait and watch and ensure the best interests of India are protected. And I can reassure all the friends in the room and all your viewers and all our countrymen that India stays committed to engaging for the best possible opportunities which were negotiated with the US to continue to provide us the best deal in terms of competitive advantage from our other emerging economies or developing nations, continue to open the doors for greater engagement in areas of our interests like technology.
Mr. Goyal, we were better placed, no doubt, when it came to the 18% with regards to some of our neighbors, Asian partners.
All of our neighbors.
Yes. We were supposed to send negotiators. बातचीत चलने वाली थी और 15-20 तारीख तक we were supposed to have the trade deal signed. ये किस्म से किसी ने ग्लाइड पाथ दिया था। अब सुप्रीम कोर्ट ने एक किस्म से पूरा जो एक कहते हैं जो मंच है उसको बदल दिया। नाउ यू सरप्राइज्ड एवरीवन by meeting Howard Lutnick, your counterpart, and I can show you the tweet that you put out. In fact, we're just going to put it out at the back of us. And you are looking extremely comfortable. There's also Mr. Sergio Gore, who played such a crucial role in building that bridge. Now, are we rethinking what's happening? Because Lutnick साहब ने तो कहा था कि हम दौड़े दौड़े आएंगे, उनकी टेबल पे बैठेंगे और उनसे मिन्नत करेंगे, ये तो उल्टा हो गया।
राहुल, आई एम सो सरप्राइज्ड। आपको तो ध्यान होगा कि कोर्ट ने तो मई में रूल कर दिया था, मई या जून में कभी, एट द लोअर लेवल कि IEPA इज नॉट द मैकेनिज्म व्हिच शुड सस्टेन, बट दे वर इन अपील एंड इट वाज अ प्रोसेस दैट वाज साइमल्टेनियसली गोइंग ऑन। फॉर अस, US is a very important trading partner. For us, US is a very important strategic relationship which encompasses our quads, which covers our technology partnership. We are members of Pax Silica, which is our effort to create resilient supply chains. So it's a very multifaceted relationship. And there is so much opportunities. After all, we had a very successful AI summit at the same venue. And if we are looking for $200 billion of investments in data centers and other AI associated ventures, if we are looking for large amounts of opportunities for our young men and women, we will need investments, we will need technology, we will need GPUs, we will need equipment from the ICT world. And these are partnerships. We have a lot of strategic interests in the pharmaceutical sector. We just had the Gold Council gentlemen here. Huge amount of opportunities in our gem and jewelry and diamond sector for that matter. Our textiles will flourish, and we have 40 million people, 4 crore people working in the textile sector.
But now we have the opportunity, Piyush, of getting it on better terms. I'll just show you that photograph. It was just over your shoulder. There's Mr. Lutnick. If we can just put that out, it'll be great.
I was there myself,
I know.
so
I want to ask you, what happened in the room? What happened in the room? Because this is a photo that really sparks a lot of conversations. Can we have that photo? Yes. So what happened in the room? Come on, tell us.
You are reminding me of Mona Lisa's picture. It sparked so many...
It did. I mean, there it is. You're right in the
middle. So you don't like my smile? What do you not like in that picture?
I
have an ODOP product which I gifted him.
Yeah.
एक गाय थी, उसका बछड़ा था, and the cow and calf together made in an Indian handicraft shop.
डेयरी की सिग्निफिकेंस आपने उनको बताई कि देखिए ये हमारी रेड लाइन।
डेयरी तो एग्जेम्प्ट है, आपको कई बार बोल चुका। वो एक राहुल नहीं समझ सकते, उससे इसका ये मतलब थोड़ी है कि सब राहुल नहीं समझेंगे। अब कुछ लोग तो ऐसे होते हैं जो समझ के बाहर ही होते हैं, पर मैं उस तरीके का नहीं हूं कि मैं शाहरुख खान की तरह बोलूंगा कि नाम तो सुना ही होगा। तो मैं समझता हूं कि राहुल शिवशंकर ने तो बहुत भली बात ही समझ लिया होगा कि भारत के किसानों के, भारत के विश्वकर्मा के, भारत के जितने MSMEs हैं, इन सबके हितों को भी सुरक्षित रखा गया और इन सबके लिए नए अवसर भी शुरू किए गए। अपॉर्चुनिटीज उनके लिए नए मिले, उसकी भी चिंता की गई है। तो भारत की डेयरी पूरी तरीके से बाहर है, भारत के राइस, व्हीट, मक्का। अब मैं रोज देखता हूं ट्वीट में कि मक्का मक्का बोल रहे हैं, पता नहीं, समझ नहीं आता कि उनको मक्का मालूम भी है कि नहीं क्या होता है। डज ही नो दैट मेज इज मक्का और कॉर्न? एंड आई हैव अनाउंस्ड कि वो ट्रेड एग्रीमेंट में उसमें कोई छूट नहीं दी गई है। आई हैव अनाउंस्ड कि सोया मील के ऊपर कोई छूट नहीं दी गई है। अब ये पोल्ट्री पे कोई छूट नहीं दी गई है, कोई GM फूड्स भारत में नहीं आएंगे। अब मुझे बड़ा दुख होता है देख के कि राहुल, नॉट राहुल, शिवशंकर, कि एक बड़ी बेवकूफी कर रहे हैं कि हमारे अन्नदाताओं को, जो बहुत ही सरल होते हैं, बड़े मेहनती होते हैं, पर इतना ज्यादा उनको इन सब चीजों की गहराई से खबर नहीं होती है, इसलिए हम पब्लिकली बार बार कहते हैं। पर वो राहुल जी जाके गुमराह करने की जब कोशिश करते हैं झूठे आधार पर, तब कभी ध्यान में आता है कि शायद राहुल गांधी कॉम्प्रोमाइज है। पर गांधी फैमिली तो कॉम्प्रोमाइज रही है, सालों साल से हम देखते हैं एक के बाद एक। मैंने परसों बताया भी उनके कुछ किस्से, किस तरीके से इस परिवार ने देश के हितों को दांव पे लगाया, देश के हितों के साथ खिलवाड़ किया है। राहुल गांधी जी एक प्रकार से विदेशी ताकतों के हाथ में खेल रहे हैं, जो हमारे किसानों को गुमराह करके देशवासियों को गुमराह करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं। ये डील भारत के हितों को सुरक्षित करती है, भारत के भविष्य को और हमारे युवा युवतियों के लिए नई टेक्नोलॉजी, नए युग के साथ जुड़ने के लिए और भारत को विकसित बनाने के लिए एक मार्ग प्रशस्त करती है। ऐसे में मुझे लगता है राहुल गांधी जी ने शायद अच्छी तरह समझा नहीं होगा या समझ के बाहर होगा उनके।
मगर एक दो सवाल, a couple of questions that are being asked is that could we have waited after the Supreme Court verdict? And I'm asking you again, because this is the first interview after that Supreme Court verdict. Is our position changing with regards to the negotiations, sir?
This is, as I said, it's an evolving situation. We'll have to see. The Trump administration has made some comments. I'm sure
so
all
Mr.
of us
Trump
have heard
has said,
those
don't
comments.
play games with us.
They have many other tools that they could possibly use. They've already used one of them, Section 122, by which they put a 10% tariff. I think they are on record that next week they may increase it to 15% for the first 150 days. So there are different evolving dialogues that are going on. We'll have to watch. And by the way, you must have read my joint statement that we had finalized with the US. It has categorically said that should the circumstances change, the deal would be rebalanced.
So you're talking about clause 8?
To ensure that the balance of the deal is maintained on both sides.
Important statement there. So you're talking about clause 8. That's the one that allows
us... provides that the deal will be the sanctity of the deal is both ways.
So given this change and given the fact that even talk of 15% is less than 18%, is that an incentive for us? That does strengthen our...
Well, it does, of course,
bargaining position.
Give an opportunity for everybody to continue to export without hindrance. But bear in mind, the deal was better because it had many other elements, which, of course, whenever you will finally see the deal, you will realize, oh my God, this is also there, this is also there, this is also there. So till we finally ink it, I'm not in a position to share every detail. Though all the sensitive matters I've already clarified. But I can assure you, there's so many more positives to the deal that we should wait. Let us see how the situation moves forward. Remember, trade deal or international trade is about comparative advantage. You must have heard the theory of competitiveness coming out of comparative advantage.
True.
So the trade deal, if everybody is at X rate, nobody gets a competitive advantage. But if I am lower than somebody else who is my competitor, I have a comparative advantage. So I hope your channel, your viewers will take this message that remember always, trade deal is not only about what the tariff is, it is more about the competitive advantage that you get over your competition. And certainly at 50% tariff, we were at a huge disadvantage in our exports. And the fact that we were able to bring it down to lower than the rest of our competition was a huge win for India. It would have opened the doors to a lot of agricultural exports also to the United States. It would have opened the doors for our labor-oriented sectors textiles, leather, sportswear, handicrafts, handlooms. It would have given a huge leg up for the sectors like diamonds, for pharmaceuticals. Our smartphones are growing relentlessly. I think you saw in the paper today, its export of smartphones has just shot up in the last 2 years. So India is on the move. And despite all the global turbulence, this year our exports will be higher than last year.
Talking about competitive advantage, some people, and I won't say one particular critic, I'll say quite a few critics are saying that had we waited, we might have been better placed. Some economies that have concluded the deal now find that they might be at a disadvantage after the Supreme Court order. So I'm only asking you, Piyushji, do you believe that that competitive advantage after the SC's verdict no longer exists because everyone now starts
We'll
at
have
the
to
same?
wait and watch and see what tools the administration plans to use and how the situation progresses. It's too early to venture a guess.
This is something that comes up quite often. And this is the conversation about timelines. It's important to have a deal with America concluded within a certain span. Especially if you're going ahead and talking to others, there's Canadian Premier coming and so on and so forth. So what would be the timeline now that we're looking at? Is it not the March 15th and the other sort of...
I think I would urge somebody from your research team to look at my statements right from 2021. That's 5 years. You will find consistency, unlike some other people. You will find consistency that I never negotiate with a deadline or a timeline. We negotiate to get the best deal for India and for 140 crore Indians. And I don't think we need to set any timelines on any deals whatsoever.
So why do you think that the government hasn't been able to convince the opposition that keeps asking these questions?
Well, the day you are able to convince, maybe I won't take any name of a channel, but if you want, I can take. The day you are able to convince Aaj Tak that your viewership is higher than theirs, irrespective of the facts. I mean, I'm just telling you. The day you are able to convince
the data speaks
that your viewership is higher than theirs, that day I'm sure I'll be able to convince Mr. Rahul Gandhi also.
Now, I want to ask you, because as you said, so many moving parts. There's the prospect of tensions looming with Iran. The joint statement did not mention any pledge by India to stop oil trade with Russia. But the White House insists that the deal is linked to India stopping purchases. Now, at this moment, as we speak, Ural oil is cheaper than some of the other Gulf oil and so on and so forth, and different varieties of it. If there is a conflict, and we're expecting, therefore, oil prices to harden, would we still reach out to Russia to bring in oil?
I think the Foreign Affairs Ministry, the Ministry of External Affairs, has very categorically made the position of India clear on this subject. This is not a matter of the trade deal. I don't handle this subject. And I would advise you to go by what the Foreign Office has said.
Talking about the AI summit that has just concluded, an interesting event on all accounts. There were also theatrics on the last day. But one comment that has come through is that in a world of content creators, this is what some people are saying, India has chosen to be a consumer. What do you make of this question that is being posed increasingly of the government?
Well, first of all, I'd like to condemn the way certain congressmen, I don't know whether they had the directions from their leader, Because it's quite possible such a shameful act cannot be visualized or planned at a low level.
There are videos that have come out that seem to suggest that, I know the BJP is claiming that there might have been something more to this.
It clearly must have been at very high levels, possibly at the top of the Congress. And in Congress anyway, for the last 100 years, it's only been one family at the top. So I wouldn't be surprised if this had the blessings of the leadership of the Congress. But I want to condemn in the strongest words possible that absolutely shameless behavior of the Congress in front of 20 world leaders, delegations from 118 countries, to try and belittle India's achievements, the achievements of 140 crore Indians, to try and belittle our progress, our development, our offerings to the world, the opportunities that are opening up for our youth, I think was the worst anti-national act that could have been done. And I think they really need to be condemned in the strongest terms. वैसे तो rightly said कि वो वैसे ही इतने exposed हैं, इतने नंगे हो चुके हैं उनके एंटी इंडिया स्टैंड पे, इतने कॉम्प्रोमाइज हो चुके हैं, उनसे भारत की प्रगति देखी नहीं जाती है. मुझे लगता है उनसे भारत की सफलताओं से उनको ईर्ष्या हो रही है और शायद इसीलिए बार बार वो भारत को रन डाउन करने की कोशिश कर रहे हैं. आप यहां सेलिब्रेट कर रहे हो राइजिंग भारत, उनसे राइजिंग भारत टॉलरेट नहीं होता है, वो वीकन करने में लगे हुए हैं. आप स्ट्रेंथन कर रहे हो, स्ट्रेंथन विद इन, वो वीकन करना चाहते हैं विद इन. तो एक प्रकार से दे आर प्लेइंग इनटू द हैंड्स ऑफ फॉरेन पावर्स, दे आर प्लेइंग इनटू द एंटी इंडिया, एंटी भारत फोर्सेस एंड वीकनिंग इंडिया. अदरवाइज टेल मी what a fantastic success story AI Summit was. We got response far beyond our expectations. We didn't know, imagine, I mean, you can look up the earlier AI summits. Nowhere were so many world leaders present. Nowhere were so many countries represented. Nowhere did so many people come out in such large numbers to experience new age technologies which will define India of the future. And I think I just want to make sure that people understand the evil design of the Congress, evil design of the Gandhi family to run down India's achievements. And to that extent, this is something which 140 crore, their own partners, every Indian feels ashamed of their behavior. As far as the AI summit itself is concerned, it opens up huge opportunities for India. Some people are too focused on areas like job losses. I personally believe, as do many friends who are from the technology field, this is going to open up a huge plethora of opportunities for India. Where else in the world do you have the kind of talent, the kind of skills that India offers? Where else in the world do you have youthful energy which our brothers and sisters, our boys and girls offer? Where else in the world do they have 23 lakh STEM graduates, science, technology, engineering and mathematics graduates, 2.3 million every year coming out of our universities and colleges, providing talent, providing the aspiration that young India today holds. And therefore, AI will be good for consumers, AI will be good for our young men and women who will not only develop good applications, good solutions, good language models in India, but also provide talent to the world. And I personally think newer types of jobs. So you will see cyber security coming into focus. You will see data scrubbing becoming important. And for heaven's sake, Rahul, mark my word, come what may, howsoever much AI may evolve, there will be so much data corruption, there will be so much bots getting into databases that don't ever don't ever prepare a final interview or your talking points based on an AI search. You'll end up becoming Chatur of Three Idiots.
Yes. So let me ask you a question. AI leadership requires constant innovation, is keeping ahead of the competition and so on and so forth. That requires R&D. What we are seeing, and this is a concern, and I've been speaking to people who are innovators and so on and so forth, and they say the percentage of R&D GDP, India is much lower than China or the United States or some developed economies in Europe. How do you view this? Has the time come to sort of change that?
See, every country evolves with time. So there was a time for many years we didn't have much of a culture of innovation and R&D. Things are changing. The government is also at the forefront of that change. What is Startup India? Now, we don't count the investments and the effort that our young men and women are doing or our startups are doing, but all of that is innovation. I mean, when they come up with these fantastic ideas that our startups do, the unicorns who have been very, very good at their work, all of this is innovation. Only yesterday or day before, I was at some forum where the Misho gentleman was also there, day before yesterday. And this question of R&D was posed to him. He said 70% of my investment is all innovation, is all R&D. So I think a lot of the R&D spend is not captured, point one. Point two, previous governments never supported innovation the way Modi government has done. First we came out with a fund of fund, 10,000 crores, which seeded almost 1 lakh crores worth of investments into the startup ecosystem. We've already come out with a second 10,000 crore fund of funds, phase 2, where we are focusing that mainly for deep tech, particularly early stage deep tech, so that they don't have to sell out their equity at low valuations and lose the future benefits. We've come out with 1 lakh crores RDIF, the Research and Development Innovation Fund, which will seed again the private sector and the government together in a PPP trying to bring innovation into India. So this is the time. Other day I was with, again day before yesterday, in a program with a pharma major company, and the figures that they were talking to me about their forthcoming investments in innovation were really fabulous. I think India yet has to recognize the benefits of innovation and R&D. So the stock market, for example, has to realize that this R&D is the future. And R&D is going to help these companies become the captains of tomorrow, the big guys of tomorrow, which is happening. So you find reverse flip of many startups coming to India, wanting to list in India, because now the stock market, earlier days it was not. Now it started recognizing that these companies which invest into the future are the bright stars which should be supported.
Just a few questions more. I want to take you out of the trade orbit into the political orbit. You are going to be heading to Tamil Nadu very soon. You're in charge of the campaign there, in a sense. What's it looking like for the NDA? You have a partnership with the AIDMK. You've changed tact and you've gone in with the AIDMK.
We have a very strong alliance which is well poised to win Tamil Nadu. The people of Tamil Nadu are absolutely tired of the corruption scandals of the DMK government, DMK Congress government. They are very unhappy with the kind of liquor scams, the TASMAC scam. They are very unhappy with the law and order position there. They are very unhappy with the anti-Tamil, anti-Bharat pronouncements of the ruling family there. Of course, it's only one ruling family there. Again, like in Delhi, you have the Gandhi family. There you have the Karunanidhi family. And people just cannot accept the kind of statements that the heir apparent or Deputy Chief Minister Udayanidhi Stalin has been repeatedly making, the anti-Sanatan Dharam. I mean, imagine, would anybody in this room endorse a comment which says that India's very ethos, our culture, our heritage, our traditions are bad and they have to be eradicated like mosquitoes? That's the comment Udayanidhi Stalin made.
True.
How can any well-meaning Indian or Tamil accept the kind of behavior that the Karunanidhi family's scion, Mr. Udayanidhi Stalin, is making? How can they accept the levels of corruption that we are witnessing in Tamil Nadu? They want a change, and the AIADMK-led NDA alliance in Tamil Nadu is well poised to win, and Edapadi Palaniswamy ji will be the next Chief Minister of Tamil Nadu.
That's a view that obviously you would be pushing very hard and you would hope for the outcome. But there is, many people are saying the alternative may not be you. There is another player, TVK's Vijay. How do you assess Vijay? There is talk, and he spoke to us a few days back, our group editor-in-chief, Rahul Joshi, and there was talk that he believes that he is going to be king, not kingmaker, that he's in a position to sort of provide that alternative.
Well, Sheikh Chilli ke sapne to sabhi dekh sakte hain. Everybody is entitled to have their own glorified view of their own self. He's a good actor. He may be popular for his films, but if he is self-anointed himself as the chief minister, my own, I mean, whatever little bit of politics I understand, I'm sure all of you understand it far better than simple people like me. But we have seen in history that film stars have come, film stars have gone, film stars have had a very high rating of themselves. Mr. Kamal Hassan is a very recent example. He had thought he will storm Tamil Nadu. I think he got what? Less than 2% votes?
Yes.
We've had earlier examples of film stars. Vijay Kantji had come a few years ago, 10, 12 years ago. All fanfare, everybody thought now this is the future. If I remember correctly, the first time when there was a star attraction also, he couldn't get into double digit.
Yeah.
After that, of course, even that collapsed. We don't mix up with MGR or Jayalalitha, because both of them were in established political parties. They had a long political career before they made a claim for chief ministership. So MGR worked in the party for many years before he broke out and then became the chief minister. Jayalalitha ji worked under the tutelage of Miss MGR for many years, and Thiru Jayalalitha then became the chief minister after years of work and with the whole organization of the AIADMK backing.
So I'm asking you.
Now an upstart without any organizational backing,
so no question,
is not going to be a possible winner. We had somebody like that in Bihar whom all of you had hyped up so much. Did he win even one seat? Even one seat?
No.
Zero.
So no question of a tie-up. My final question, no question of a tie-up with Vijay?
Well, I don't see any tie-up happening, but if he had any good sense prevailing on him, and if he had better advisors, he would realize that he cannot become the chief minister. But just like Jayalalitha ji or MGR worked with the party for many years, tried to bring good governance as we are assuring the
so
people of Tamil Nadu.
So there are no back-channel talks happening with
Probably
Vijay?
He would benefit a lot.
No back-channel talks? Nothing like that?
I don't know him. I've never met him.
Okay.
But the NDA is a party whose doors are always open for good people, well-meaning people.
Is he a good
people
person?
Who are looking for good governance, people who are looking for eradicating corruption, who want to bring development to the state,
does he fit
not
those
TASMAC type liquor scams, who want good law and order so that the women feel safe.
Does he tick those boxes?
Sorry?
Does he tick those boxes?
I don't know. We'll have to examine should he approach us.
Okay, that's a great point to wrap on. Thank you so much, Piyush ji, for being so sporting and taking all the questions. No question has gone unanswered and no question has been left unasked. So, thank you very
Rahul ji.
much. Thank you.
And wish you all the best for this summit.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thank you.
Piyush Goyal and Rahul for that excellent, enlightening session on India's growth. Remember, ladies and gentlemen, Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal is responsible for clinching two mega trade deals in the last few months, the one with the European Union and then with the United States. It's been a year of great volatility around the world, but India has managed to clinch two very important deals which will help our exporters in the months to come. Now, let's move on. We saw the AI summit just a few days back. The whole world was in New Delhi, right here at Bharat Mandapam. And we saw many tech trailblazers. One of them is here today. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we have a special guest who's already making waves in the AI world. He's a prodigy who's whizzed through the AI Impact Summit last week, right here at Bharat Mandapam. At just 8 years old, his insights in artificial intelligence are sparking conversations across the tech community. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the sharp and sensational Ranveer Sachdeva. Let's hear it from this young tech whiz about what's next in AI. Ranveer, the stage is all yours. Ladies and gentlemen, clap louder, please.
Thank you. Am I audible? यही समय है, सही समय है, भारत का अनमोल समय है. Whenever the tricolor reflects in my eyes, my gaze reflects on the chakra. Not because of its shape as you may think, but because of the message that it gives me. Continuous movement, moral duty, righteous action. Well, I like your analogies. So, if I extrapolate these three from the chakra to my area of interest, which just happens to be artificial intelligence, I draw parallels with sovereign innovation, ethical AI, inclusive impact. Hi, I'm Ranveer. I'm 8. I'm someone who's about to witness 8 decades of an independent India sometime soon. But you know what matters to me more? Will India be a $30 trillion economy when I will be 30? From Rising Bharat in 2026 to a Viksit Bharat in 2047. So here's how I'm going to do it. I'm going to divide my narrative into two thoughts, picking it up from where I left with the starting couplet of the poem of our Honorable Prime Minister, Shri Narendra Modi ji. 1. कुछ ऐसा नहीं जो कर न सको, कुछ ऐसा नहीं जो पा न सको. When I was around 5, I came across a very important line from a speech of Steve Jobs, a revolutionary, influential global technology leader of all times. I quote, "You can never connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backward."